Now at 10, coffee lovers and local artists come together for a roof painting party at Root Coffee House.
And we're tracking the threat of severe weather across your area. I'll have that and your forecast.
And a Kansas splash park reopens after being closed due to vandalism. We'll take a look at how they plan to move forward.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A house fire is being investigated on South Murphy Avenue in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Snowy. At about 12:10 a.m. this morning, there was a report of a structure fire at 828 South Murphy Avenue. A witness said he saw flames burn the power line that went to the house and it fell to the ground. Liberty Electric and Spire Gas were contacted to control the utilities. Joplin police detectives were present as well as fire investigators. There were no injuries to civilians or firefighters. They remained on the scene for 2 hours. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at the forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Elise. It's been a busy evening across the area, especially up towards the north, where a squall line is now starting to move through our area. Look at all these wind damage reports behind this squall line that's now moving through our area. Wind now being reported in and around Nevada, around 60 miles per hour. We had some tree limbs blowing through some windows earlier up in Overland Park. And if you take a look at the last couple of hours, you can see the movement on this squall line is basically to the south and east at a pretty rapid pace. So it's now moving through Nevada. In fact, let's take a look at the strongest velocities right now. Looking at velocities, it appears in southeastern Vernon County near Monteveo, or just west of there, there's a little bit of a circulation right here. And this is what happens when you have strong straight line winds. They can sometimes form these little vortices. And so we're watching this area very closely just to the west of Monteveo in southeastern Vernon County. That's moving to the south and east. So folks in Jericho Springs, you are in the path of the strong winds in the next hour or so. And then if we take a look further back to the west, you can see some strong winds also just to the west of Liberal and north of Minden Mines on the Kansas-Missouri line. So we're going to continue to watch this, and now looking at that just north of Doylesport, a little bit of a circulation right there. But of course, we'll keep you updated on the severe weather situation and your forecast in just a little bit.
We'll see you soon. Police in Wichita arrested a man this week in connection with a double murder at a home daycare. 62-year-old Charles Crawford was arrested following a standoff for the murders of 50-year-old Vanessa Crawford and 58-year-old Donald Eckert. Reporter Leon Purvis has the story.
They were unable to make entry on the door, which is normally left open. They looked inside and saw 2 victims slumped over.
Wichita police are talking about the moment a woman tried to drop off her child at this home daycare on North Woodrow around 7:30 Tuesday morning. That's the same time neighbors in the area tell us they heard screaming. When officers were investigating that scene, a couple told them they had noticed a man down the street with a gun, making suicidal statements. That's when several officers and the SWAT team swarmed the area near 12th and Woodrow. That started a 2-hour standoff during which neighbors were told to shelter in place.
I received a call from our babysitter that she was very concerned, scared because one of my kids had said that someone told them they need to get inside the house.
Stephen Netherton says he then went home to check on his family, and police told them to stay in the basement.
When I arrived, and that's where police were engaging with him, and SWAT, the SWAT trucks I could see driving by the house, and they were engaging with him and apparently trying to de-escalate.
WPD called in crisis negotiators to de-escalate the situation. The man eventually surrendered around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon and was taken to a local hospital.
It's different when something like this happens so close by. It's very concerning. It makes you scared. It makes you feel like you don't know that you can have a sense of security.
Authorities from Joplin and Carl Junction responded to a grass fire this afternoon. It happened shortly after 3 p.m. by North Schifferdecker. Fire crews say 15 acres were burned, though no buildings were damaged. It was declared under control before 3:30. Officials said it was started by workers grinding metal and creating sparks. Root Coffee House and Creperie played host to Creative Canvas today. Members in the community were invited to come out and enjoy a warm beverage and pleasant atmosphere as they tap into their creative side.
And I love working with people who have different ability levels, just like kids do. So I'm able to take what I do with kids and kind of apply it to some adults who might be nervous. It gets them out of the house and kind of back in doing things that it's in a family-friendly location. So they're able to come in here and enjoy drinks that Root has, or when we're at other places, different amenities, and hang out with their kiddos or with their friends when they're here.
Creative Canvas will be doing another event in just a couple weeks in Cherryville. Paramedics do the best they can to save lives. However, they can't save everyone, and that was the case for one Oklahoma City woman's husband. Reporter Jordan Fremstad tells us how a simple act of kindness helped her heal.
Oklahoma City's been my home for a while. My husband and I were together for about 28 of those.
The story of our life features characters
Robert Harris.
And the relationships we share.
Well, Robert was this wonderful individual that never had an enemy in his life. And I was the extrovert and the talker.
Patrice Harris reflects on the relationship together with her husband.
He was the healthiest guy in the room until Monday, May 22nd.
We got called to Southwest Oklahoma City for a cardiac arrest.
It just happened.
EMSA paramedic Stone Dudley's unit tried to save Robert that night.
We weren't able to get anything done.
I knew he couldn't help my husband. I knew there was nothing there.
However, Stone saved another life.
He saved me. He did.
Sometimes it's not about the patients that we can't save, it's we have to act to the patients that we can.
He's just a hero for me. And then he brought me beautiful flowers Sunday on my birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you. For the compliment.
To Stone, Robert the patient became Robert the veteran.
He got drafted to Vietnam. Yeah.
The musician.
Too bad you guys didn't get to ever hear him play.
A father and a husband.
I have more stories to tell now, and you'll be part of it.
Patrice's life story added a new character.
He was the first angel that came for me.
A relationship with a mutual empathy for each other.
I know they don't get as good as they give.
Words became the best medicine.
Just being nice to somebody, this just goes to show what it can do.
Healing a broken heart from a remembered one.
It was true heart.
Coming up, former President Donald Trump held a rally this weekend ahead of the arraignment and documents case. Plus, a new proposed bill that is set to help low-income families with disabilities. We'll take a look. Former President Donald Trump held a rally this weekend as his legal problems continue to mount. On Friday, there will be an arraignment for another Mar-a-Lago employee charged in the classified documents case. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports from Miami.
You have my vote, sir.
Oh, good. Well, God bless you. Out on the trail, Republican presidential candidates are treading lightly when it comes to former President Donald Trump's legal woes.
If these accusations are true, it's incredibly dangerous to our national security. But again, this is coming down from a Department of Justice that, frankly, the American people don't trust.
3 new charges were leveled against the former president Thursday over his alleged mishandling of classified documents. In addition to Mr. Trump's aide Walt Nauta, Carlos de Oliveira, a property manager at Mar-a-Lago, was added as a defendant. According to the indictment, Oliveira and Nauta took aside a fourth Mar-a-Lago employee, asked how many days the surveillance camera server retained footage, and Oliveira told that employee the boss wanted the server deleted.
Does that sound kosher to you? No, I mean, none of that sounds good. The same way it didn't sound good when Hillary erased her emails.
During a fiery speech Saturday, Mr. Trump said the indictments and lawsuits are political ploys. He also toyed with the idea of skipping the first GOP primary debate and suggested all other candidates should just drop out.
Should we not do the debate? You people just want entertainment.
The race is heating up just as a new CBS News poll reveals 70% of Americans feel work income just isn't keeping up with inflation. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
There may be help on the way for low-income Americans with disabilities who don't have much income but are still trying to save money. A proposal now before Congress calls for federal matching funds for what are known as ABLE accounts. Under the legislation, there would be a federal dollar-for-dollar match of up to $2,000 for new and existing ABLE accounts for individuals who earn $28,000 or less per year. A little later, we'll take a look at a splash park in Wichita reopening following acts of vandalism.
And we're tracking very strong winds now just west of Newport. Of course, we'll have a detail on that as well as your forecast when we come back. All right, it's been an active evening across the area as we have a squall line moving into our area from the north. Right now you can see that there's basically a juncture point of two lines, one stretching just to the north and east of Osceola down towards Stockton, and then it joins up with the other main squall line swinging on back to the south and west. And where these join together, we have to watch for the possibility of circulations developing. This would be for Cedar County west of Stockton and also extreme northeastern Barton County and of course Dade County as well. Let's take a look at the velocities, and right now you can see that the strongest winds are between Monteveo and Jericho Springs, right in this area right here, and also a pretty strong gust of winds getting ready to move into Newport right now. And if threatening weather approaches your area, go ahead and seek shelter on the lowest floor of your home, away from outside walls and windows. Small interior room like a bathroom, closet, or hallway, those work best, and make sure that you protect your head from any flying debris. The good news is no tornado warnings right now, but we always have to be very concerned about these very strong winds along the leading edge of squall lines. They can sometimes spin up into what we call QLCS type tornadoes. And that's what we may be looking at right here just to the west of Jericho Springs. Severe thunderstorms continue with this complex back towards the west as well. Severe thunderstorm warning also in effect for Woodson County or eastern Woodson County. So if you draw a line from Yates Center to Chanute to Parsons to Columbus and points north and east, that's where the threat of the storms are going to be, including the Joplin metro area for the next few hours. So we're going to have to be very, very careful and keep an eye on everything as we go through the next several hours into the overnight. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, things are looking pretty quiet, but if you look up towards the north, you can see the lightning definitely in the sky up towards the north and west. And right now you can see that temperatures are starting to cool off with the rain and the thunderstorms. It's 73 in Iola right now, but it's still 86 in Fort Scott, 77 in Chanute, 74 rain-cool degrees in Yates Center, 76 also there in Stockton. But notice ahead of it, it's still in the 80s, and that's helping fuel these thunderstorms. Now tomorrow, we're going to have a pretty toasty day across the area with temperatures in the low 100s, or at least it's going to feel like that. 108 in Baxter Springs and in Pittsburgh, 106 in Fort Scott. Then as we go into Tuesday, again, very brutally hot with temperatures feeling like 110 in Nowata, 109 in Parsons and Chanute, just brutal. And then as we go into Wednesday, take a look at Nevada and Stockton and Lamar, feeling like 110 in the afternoon, and everyone will feel like in the low 100s across the area. Rain chances, of course, tonight highest, and then they start to drop off as we go towards tomorrow afternoon, but there'll even be some isolated storms tomorrow afternoon as well. And looking at the forecast tonight, you can see lows in the mid-70s. And then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, again, temperatures very steamy, highs near 100 degrees, especially in southeastern Kansas. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, lows in the 70s across the area. And then Tuesday afternoon, again, highs right around 100 degrees. And over the next 7 days, we're going to see the heat continue to build as we go into Wednesday with a high 104, 103 on Thursday, and then finally a chance of storms in here on Saturday and Sunday with a 40% chance on Sunday. And then we get closer to more normal temperatures, at least, with highs only 88 degrees on Tuesday. So that's something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Well, with all that heat, many people are trying to cool off at the pool or just staying inside the AC. But some people are back at Splash Aqua Park in South Wichita as it reopens after recent vandalism. Reporter Joe Baker has the details.
Triple-digit heat continues across the state, many looking to cool off and some choosing to do so at Splash Aqua Park.
It's miserable. I mean, I work outside, so it's even worse. You know, it's hard to stay hydrated and just like keep up with it, you know?
I'm sure it's going to feel great to get in, and I'm hoping it's cold, honestly, instead of hot.
However, visitors didn't get access to the full experience. Splash Aqua Park is only half open because of recent vandalism, and this instance wasn't the first time.
It's been a lot more rampant. Last year we only had like one incident. This year it's been quite a few.
The manager of Splash Aqua Park says vandals cost $60,000 to $75,000 in damages, causing the park to shut down, but reopen this weekend with half of its gear. And with this recent heat wave, it's leading to a loss in revenue.
It was at a bad timing with this heat wave. It's perfect weather to have a full park right now, but we are doing half price at $9, which is a good thing.
Visitors say it's just unacceptable.
I just think it's really messed up that somebody would do that, you know? It's just a place for fun.
We just show up because it's hot. We drove an hour just to come. And we're like, man, I wonder why. And then we're informed that there's been some vandalism, and we were just like, wow, that's crazy. Who would do that to something meant for fun?
Despite the setbacks, the park says it's going to continue to provide heat relief for its guests through the end of the season.
The perseverance is real. We're going strong, and we're going to keep going. The more people we have out here, the more fun it is. And yeah, no, the weather's definitely big influence, and the water's really cold right now, so it's pretty nice to get in there and have fun with your friends.
Still ahead, the Royals and Cardinals completed some big trades earlier this afternoon. And the Pittsburgh State women's basketball team is ready for their overseas trip to Spain. Brock Baldridge will have the story next in sports.
The Pittsburgh State women's basketball team's preparing for a 10-day overseas trip to Spain. The Gorillas are using this trip to boost team chemistry within the program. On Sunday afternoon, the team hosted a send-off at John Lance Arena where fans got to meet and greet with players and coaches. The team is scheduled to arrive in Madrid, Spain on August 1st. The Gorillas will play 2 games there, then travel to Barcelona for another game. Pitt State doesn't return back until August 10th. Head coach Amanda David is using this opportunity to help the team grow.
No, I think just the girls getting to connect with each other as we go across overseas, study abroad type of situation where they're going to get to explore a whole new world, and they get to do that together. And just the stories that they should have, you know, for the year should be a lot of great bonding experience. And so I think, you know, just kind of getting lost in a day and having a couple hours to explore, you know, a different culture is really what I'm looking forward to the most.
I'm excited just to be in Spain, like going over the country. That's just wild, and getting to bond with the teammates. For me to be a freshman and getting to go to Spain my first year is like unbelievable. So I'm excited to go to Spain, tour around, and play some games and win some games. I'm excited to tour around Madrid and Barcelona. I've seen like pictures of those places, and I know they're like real pretty. So just going around and exploring Spain is going to be fun.
And the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference hosted their football media day in Wichita on Friday. Coaches got a chance to speak about their programs. It also means that the coaches poll came out and it was released to the media. So here is the 2023 Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference coaches poll for this upcoming football season. Hutchinson Community College was selected to finish in first place. Then the Coffeyville Red Ravens are projected to finish in second place. Butler County in there at third, Garden City at fourth, then Independence Community College in there at fifth place. Dodge City at 6th, and then Highland Community College rounds out the list in last place. The Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals were in action this afternoon. A handful of players got to spend the final weekend with their team before being traded ahead of the MLB trade deadline. Royals versus Twins at Kauffman Stadium, no score. Bottom of the second inning, Freddie Fermin, that ball was fulminated. Solo home run, Royals lead 1-0. Next inning now, Minnesota's Matt Wallner says, right back at you. Take a good look, you won't see it for long. That ball's gonna nearly hit the restaurant out there in right field. Solo home run, tied up 1-1. Bottom of the third now, Michael Garcia gives his ball a ride to left field, but it's gonna stay in the ballpark. So Nicky Lopez will round around third. RBI double for Garcia, 2-1 Royals. So fast forward to the top of the ninth inning. Carlos Hernandez on the mound, And here we go, 100 miles per hour, strike 3, and that's your ball game. Royals sweep the Twin. KC wins 2-1. Kansas City becomes the last team in baseball to win at least 3 in a row. Cubs versus Cardinals in Busch Stadium. First inning, no score. Welcome back, Tyler O'Neill. RBI single, Redbirds up 1-0. Bottom of the second now, same score. Andrew Kisner, who's swinging a hot bat lately, drives this to left. Walker will score. RBI single, 2-0 St. Louis. Later in the inning, Paul Goldschmidt breaks the back, but it doesn't matter. As the falls for a hit in left field, RBI single, 3-0 St. Louis. So to the top of the 6th now, same score, Nolan Arenado showing off that golden glove of his. Throws to first, wow, what a play. Makes it look so easy. St. Louis avoids the sweep. Cardinals win it 3-0 over the Cubs. So speaking of the St. Louis Cardinals, toward the end of Sunday's game, they trade away one of their top starting pitchers, Jordan Montgomery, to the Texas Rangers. Montgomery started 21 games for St. Louis this season with a 3.42 ERA. Cardinals also send right-hand pitcher Chris Stratton in the deal. The Cardinals will receive Tekoa Roby, Thomas Sagassi, and left-hand pitcher John King in return from the Rangers. Cardinals also traded Jordan Hicks to the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Kansas City Royals trade Nicky Lopez to the Atlanta Braves. That'll be it with sports. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
Welcome back. We're still tracking severe weather across our area right now. The strongest winds are near Golden City, rapidly approaching the city of Minot and Lockwood. There is a little bit of a circulation right here, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. We have about 4,700 people in the Nevada area that are currently out of power. We just got an update on the radar there. You can see very strong winds now getting ready to approach Minot. If you live in Minot, you need to buckle down and batten down the hatches as very strong winds are approaching you. Of course, we'll be here all night long keeping an eye on the radar, and if anything gets out of hand, we'll be sure to let you know. All right, let's go over to the news desk with Elise.
That's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.